14-year-old boy killed in that mass shooting in Stockton. And that breaking news, we are getting our first look at the 14-year-old boy killed in that mass shooting in Stockton. His family tells us his name was Amari Peterson. He is one of the 3 children who died after a gunman opened fire at a birthday party. And police still searching for the suspect or suspects in that shooting that left a total of 4 people dead and 11 others wounded Saturday night.
Church needs to be present. We need to be able to stand up and say, hey, we see you, we love you, we're here with you, and we're willing to help make a change in this city.
And that community really rallying behind the victims and their families, coming together to support those affected by that shooting.
A birthday party for a 2-year-old. Balloons, family, kids laughing. Should be one of the safest places in the world. But in Stockton, California, that celebration turned into a nightmare. 4 people dead, 11 shot, and the victims just 8, 9, 14, and 21 years old. No suspects, no arrests, no answers. Just families trying to figure out how children could get gunned down at a toddler's birthday party. Tonight we ask a very important question and a hard question. What kind of society allows this type of violence to touch its youngest and most vulnerable children? Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell. Let's get to it.
And Stockton Unified School District offering counseling for students as a student from one of their schools was one of those victims. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dominic Garcia. Appreciate you joining us at noon. A small candlelight memorial is in place outside of the banquet hall where people were gathering for a child's birthday party when those shots rang out. So here's what we know so far. This shooting happened at a hall on Lucille Avenue and Thornton Road around 6 p.m. Saturday. Among the dead are 3 children ages 8, 9, and 14. A 21-year-old was also killed. Police say up to 150 people were inside celebrating when those shots rang out. Stockton Mayor Christina Fugazi says the shooting was gang-related. However, the San Joaquin County Sheriff would not confirm that. The terrifying scene inside that birthday party. One woman telling us the event was for her 2-year-old grandniece. Now, she says her 22-year-old niece is among those injured, and when the bullets started flying, her sister flipped the cake table over, hiding children behind it to try and block them from those bullets. Other children hid under a bounce house. Woman we spoke with raced to the party venue after getting a frantic call from her sister for help.
She said it sounded like it was never going to stop. She said, sis, it wasn't going to stop. That's all she kept saying, it wasn't going to stop. She said, babies are everywhere. They're on the ground.
And we have to ask ourselves, what type of person goes and shoots up a birthday party for a 2-year-old toddler? Not a child, not a teenager, a toddler. And you know what makes this even more frustrating? California, the state of California, has one of the most onerous gun laws in the country. The hoops you have to jump through to get a gun as a law-abiding citizen. They even passed a law this year that the maximum rounds that a magazine can hold is 10. So if you buy a handgun, it has a maximum 10-round capacity for the magazine. Those laws are going to impede law-abiding citizens from being able to defend themselves, but not for criminals. Criminals aren't passing a background check. Criminals aren't walking into a gun store and buying guns. So we have to ask ourselves, how are these laws being passed in these blue states helping citizens defend themselves? Just keep watching this story.
And that woman calling on whoever is responsible for this horrific act to turn themselves in to authorities. Well, the 8-year-old child killed in the shooting was a 3rd-grade student at Stockton Unified, and that student's mother is also a district employee. Today, Stockton Unified had counselors on hand at each of their 55 campuses.
Now, for the mother who works at Stockton Unified, they're providing in-home resources for her and her family as they grieve during this time. Now, the superintendent says the shooting has impacted every single school here in Stockton.
When you have a mass shooting in a community, it doesn't just impact the one school, it's going to impact all 55. And so people have been asking me, well, how do we get those services? So a child can self-refer, they can ask and just go up to their counselor and ask for help. they can ask the teacher and a teacher can refer.
Great job that Stockton is stepping up to help the mental health of the children who live in this area. I actually have an aunt and a cousin who are from the Stockton area, and I can tell you, it's like most cities. There's a high end and there's a low end. My aunt lives in the nicer part of Stockton, but when you go into downtown, when you go to another part of Stockton, it looks like any other inner city urban area. And Stockton, demographically, is mostly white and Latino, and it looks like this was a Latino gang-related issue that caused this shootout. But I don't want you to forget these two important points. Number one, this was a toddler's birthday party. And number two, the state of California's gun laws do not afford actual citizens the ability to protect themselves. These are not mutually exclusive ideas. If criminals, we know just by being a criminal, they're not going to follow the law. So we have to have laws in these states where law-abiding citizens can protect themselves up to and including owning firearms.
Community members and faith leaders came together today to honor those who died and to pray for the wounded. Tonight, we're also learning more about what happened. ABC 7 News reporter Suzanne Fawn has this story.
Our hearts have been made heavy. Our hearts are grieving for the loss of the innocent lives.
Heartache and heartbreak Sunday afternoon. About 150 people huddled together to pray for the families of those shot and killed and for the city of Stockton. Pastor Pam Houston said she was celebrating her grandmother's 90th birthday in Texas when she got word of the tragedy, the mass shooting at a child's birthday party.
No family deserves to endure such trauma, loss, or senseless violence.
Many leaders are demanding the community take action to bring the suspected shooter or shooters to justice.
These animals walked in and shot children at a children's birthday party. And none of us should stand for that. And so if you know anything about this, you have to come forward and tell us what you know.
Good job to the sheriff calling these individuals exactly what they are, animals. Anyone who goes and does a drive-by and shoots up a toddler's birthday party and causes the death and injury of children is exactly that, an animal. And the people who are hiding these shooters, this is a very high-profile national case. These individuals are somewhere and they are being hidden. Someone knows who they are and where they are, and to date have not turned them in. And I'm saying, if you know who these individuals are, you need to turn them in. The probability that they're going to turn themselves in from some sort of guilt is very low, because if they had that type of guilt, they wouldn't have committed this offense in the first place. But we really have to do a better job at reestablishing law and order. There is no reason why children who are innocently attending a toddler's birthday party should lose their lives on the week of Thanksgiving. This is just completely unacceptable. It's sad. And I hope those of you who are watching this story are as angry as I am.
People who were shot. Authorities say 3 of the 4 people killed were children. 11 more people were hurt in the shooting Saturday night at the banquet hall. One of them is in critical condition. The others are stable, according to authorities.
I prayed all night. I've been at the hospital till early this morning with the families praying.
Sunday night, ABC 7 News talked to former Stockton Mayor Michael Tubbs.
Yeah, I know somebody who was shot.
Tubbs talked to one of the shooting victims Sunday morning.
That person has no gang affiliation, was there as a friend of the family celebrating a beautiful milestone. A child got 1 year older.
Tubbs says that person is still in a state of shock after almost losing their life.
Luckily, that person survived, but that person now has to live with the trauma of seeing a massacre at a baby's birthday party in their hometown.
Tubbs says the shooting raises some big questions and the need for some critical action.
The focus has to be definitely on bringing those community atrocities to justice, for sure. The community of Stockton has to continue to have the conversation about how do we get to being a safe community.
I know one way that can move toward being a safer community. Give the law-abiding citizens the right, the ability to defend themselves. There were a few shooters who went into this party, but according to news reports, there were upwards of 150 people in attendance. I guarantee you, if 10%, 20%, half of the people who were at that party had a legal firearm, those individuals might not have attempted it, but more importantly, they might not have gotten away. We have to do a better job as a society. California is one of those states. My state of Illinois is one of those states that is very, very unfriendly to gun owners. The idea being that if you pass more onerous laws, that somehow that's going to keep guns from getting into the hands of criminals. This is yet another example of why that is not the case. Law-abiding citizens have the right to defend themselves, and the state should not be standing in their way. Let me know what you think. This is a very tragic situation. It's been talked about for the last couple of days. I had to cover this, but I would not feel as though I was doing this story justice if I did not bring up the fact that states like California, these blue states that are being run by majority Democrats, are passing laws that are making it more difficult for law-abiding citizens to protect themselves. That's the issue that we need to discuss when situations like this occur. I appreciate you for hanging out this long. Hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you in the next one.